You have entered the Arcade Cafe. Today, I don't think I should keep telling you guys that I drink this often.
You're still drinking another big beer.
It's one of the ones I've already had.
Is it because we made fun of your drinking on the Drunken Pen Writing 100 DBS
Yes.
episode?
Yeah. I feel like you guys made me sound like a fucking dickhead in that episode.
Probably. I don't really remember recording that episode.
Well, I'm your host, Bryce, and I'm here with my pal and cousin-in-law and more eloquent co-host, Caleb James.
Yep.
Here in the Arcade Cafe lies a baby spice worm-sized answer to those full-length episodes of the main feature of Arcade Bookshop. At only 20 to 30 minutes in length, we bring you our current thoughts on our video game progress, our book progress. I do that every time.
You suck ass.
Progress.
Progress.
A little bit of video game news that's probably already a little old. Occasional state of the podcast info, our wants, our needs, our private thoughts, our deepest, darkest secrets, and the sweet nothings that Caleb whispers in the bedroom.
Good God, we don't even need an episode. You just have a 20-minute intro.
I've done it every time. What's different today? It's longer now because we've said stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to get down to business, Caleb?
I want to get down to brass tacks.
Yeah,
I'm really tired today for some reason. It's
it.
Wednesday. I don't know why we do these on Wednesday. Oh, because we have limited time to do anything ever.
Yeah.
Why don't we have jobs? Just quit our jobs and that would be better.
Well, hopefully Bernie Sanders gets that 4-day work week established.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work for all of us.
Well, since we already brought this up, I just want to channel Spencer. I'm going to channel Spencer. Because he and I don't actually talk. We just say things to each other via each other's podcasts.
Yeah, pretty much.
So since Spencer is so aggravated with me for not
he
having
hates
him
your
on,
guts right now. He is very irate with you.
Just because we didn't have him on the Stephen King episode?
Yes, he's very upset about that. And then you messed up the Dragon Ball Z news too.
For everybody listening, we're gonna have a future episode on a certain Stephen King book that I won't mention just yet because it's a little ways down the line. But Spencer is a big Stephen King fan. Spencer is Caleb's co-host, if you don't know that, but on the Drunken Pen Writing podcast. And Spencer's aggravated because I didn't invite him onto that episode. Didn't even think about it. But
even worse, you sat in his chair and used his microphone and headphones in my studio to record that episode. He could have been here, he said.
Well, you're Spencer's friend. Why didn't you invite him?
I don't know. I don't remember what we were even supposed to record that day, I don't think.
I don't know, but I just want to put it out there. He's welcome to come on the show. We can do another Stephen King book. There's plenty of Stephen King books that would go with video games. Undoubtedly. We could probably do a Dark Tower book. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but then I have to read the Dark Tower, and I am not reading all that right now.
Yeah,
he's
but
already trying to make me read. He already wants me to read the Dark Tower, and it's just I don't got time.
Did you read the Gunslinger yet?
No, did not.
That one's not that long.
Yeah, but then you gotta read the next one, and the next one, and the fucking next one.
The second one is the best one. But anyway, Spencer, you're welcome to come on. Why don't you think of a book, and maybe if you can think of a game that you would also want to play, and you can be on 2 episodes.
I don't remember if he mentioned it on air, but he wants to do a Ninja Turtles game.
Okay. Let's do it.
I think it would relate to the Stephen King episode, but he does want to do a Ninja Turtles game.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
figure it out. There's probably turtle. No, there's a. You know what? There is a turtle symbol all throughout the Dark Tower.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So that works. We could just do that pairing. Fine.
So there we go. So okay, Spencer, you're welcome to come on. I thought we'd jump into gaming news first this time, since we typically, we don't always start with gaming news, but, well, I don't want to step over your toes, Caleb, but do you have anything gaming wise?
Over my toes or on my toes?
Shut up.
Step gently over my toes. Okay.
I guess that would be more polite to step over your toes.
I haven't seen news. I think there's a new Dragon Ball thing that just came out, actually. I don't know if it came out today. Let me look. It'll be gone now. Every time I go to look it up, it's gone.
Well, then I'll start here. I don't know that much, but I saw that Stardew Valley, their most recent update broke their player count record this
Ooh,
past week.
I actually thought about getting that just because it was on sale on Steam.
Oh, you should get it. I want to play it. So if you'll play it, I'll play that.
Isn't it just like a farming simulator though?
Yeah, but
Kind
I
of
think there is.
like Harvest
It's
Moon.
yeah, but I think there's some story to it. I believe I would totally play that. But this update includes a whole bunch of added stuff, and I didn't want to do the whole rundown. But my favorite thing they added is drinkable mayonnaise.
Ew. I
Yeah,
mean, all mayonnaise is drinkable, isn't it?
yeah, and that brings up a really good point for me because I'd like to talk about revolutionizing food. Um, and by that, I'll start by saying what a big fan of mayonnaise I am. I just love mayonnaise. I think there should be more entire meals dedicated to it. Um, mayonnaise appetizers, mayonnaise custards, mayonnaise soup, mayonnaise hair gel. I could eat mayonnaise all day long. And I mix seasonings into mayonnaise, and it's probably already like a condiment, but I just think I could just eat a bowl of this, like pudding.
Oh.
I think before I was calling it I talked about this before, I was calling it, I think I called it like a savory pudding or something like that.
Oh
A savory
god.
custard.
Ew.
Ah,
Why
it's
do you
so good.
why do you wanna eat that much mayonnaise?
I don't know, but now I wanna play Stardew Valley because they're on the same page as me.
Spencer and I, many moons ago when we worked at Walmart as lowly buggy pushers in my early 20s, we were walking through the Walmart parking lot on our night shift, and I said, "Spencer, have you ever noticed how gross this parking lot is?" He's like, "What do you mean, Caleb?" "Well, just look around." And we turned, and this is a true story, 100% factual. I have pictures somewhere. We turned to find a Miracle Whip container, and it was like a quarter full. It was a big container, and it had a fancy one of those, fun straws, like, shaped like shit, like a heart or something that swirled all around, and that was filled with Miracle Whip, so somebody was drinking that out of out of a fucking fancy straw, and it was so gross, and to this day, every
Uh,
time I think of I mean, I know Miracle Whip is the untangy what is it? The zesty or it don't have that
yeah.
zip. It's got the unless it's Miracle Whip or the horse shit. So it's the grosser mayonnaise, but still, it's a mayonnaise. And
So
now
you're
I'm
not a
wondering,
f
was that you? Were you did you come to Washington, Pennsylvania many
look,
years ago to drink a container of mayonnaise in a
I
parking
wouldn't
lot?
put it past me.
It's fucking sick. It's fucking
So
raunchy.
you're not a fan of Miracle Whip?
Not a big fan of Miracle Whip. I don't mind mayonnaise, but I'm not eating it like pudding.
Ugh, man, every
I'm
time I
not
put
like
anything on
freezing it and
mayonnaise,
making mayonnaise ice cream and like
I just said put
fucking ugh,
anytime I use mayonnaise on anything, I finish what I'm making and then I take a
just
little
eat the
bite of it.
mayonnaise. That was just sick. Nasty, man.
But I used to use Miracle Whip in when I made tuna salad. That was my dad taught me how to do it that way. It was really
Mhm.
good.
I mean, my
Um,
dad also used to do that, and I mean, like, I'm not a something about the sweetness of Miracle Whip, it doesn't really do it for me, but I mean, I could eat it, but I don't like it necessarily.
I like it, but it's one of those things where I like it because it's like junky, like cafeteria food.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about mayonnaise so much? Why'd you bring this up?
We can move on.
I mean, I
Did you
do have
find out?
news now. I found the news
Yeah.
I was looking for, but I was intrigued by your love of man. Hey, you know what's an actual drink? Cause I watch How to Drink on YouTube sometimes. It's, this guy, Greg, and it's fun. He makes all kinds of drink in his little homemade bar setup, and, one of the bits he does every once in a while is, like there's a few. One is, customer drinks that, like, why would you order that? And he gets actual receipts from just these gross drinks, and he makes them, and then sometimes he tries to make them, like, salvage them. But one of the bits he does is, like, anime, movies, TV shows, like, the drinks they have on there, and he's done quite a few with mayonnaise. Usually it's a shot, but he's done a lot of mayonnaise ones, and it's just like sometimes they kind of look good, believe it or
Interesting.
not. Like the shot, like it's one of those like morning shots where it's like Tabasco, mayonnaise, something else.
Oh
So
yeah.
yes, that might not be too bad, but Yeah, he does a lot of those on there. But no, my news,
Okay.
it's not really news, but they just dropped a new, what are looking like a third trailer. I guess this is a new or maybe a bunch of trailers for the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So they got gameplay footage out now. So I guess this is the new big Dragon Ball game. I have not kept up with these, but apparently
Mm-mm.
everyone is very excited and it looks awesome. So that might be something to keep an eye out for.
Interesting. Yeah, I tried to play a couple of those games, like, I mean, not the new ones, but the ones more like in the,
The
I guess,
Budokais.
yeah, like the PS2 era. I played a couple of those, and they were cool, but I don't know how many of those I can really play. I mean, because first of all, I've only seen through like maybe like halfway through GT, and that's where I stopped watching.
So you just
Um,
watched the entirety of the Dragon Ball series up till almost GT?
I didn't watch it straight through, but I think I've seen most of them just from
I
watching
mean,
reruns.
GT is the one that nobody gives a shit about, so if you watch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, you watched all of it pretty much.
Yeah.
GT
So,
is not
but
canon,
I
it doesn't count.
but I would still imagine that the games have more recent characters, unless they're still the same characters.
Yeah, I mean, they get some new characters from Dragon Ball Super, I'm sure now, but I mean, most of them are still the same.
Yeah, but still, regardless, it's kind of how I feel about fighting games in general. I don't really even Mortal Kombat. I really like Mortal Kombat, but I don't have the patience for it that I did when I was a kid playing like Super Nintendo.
I
And
like
it's like,
watching all the fatalities from the newest Mortal Kombat because 'cause they're badass, but I don't really wanna
yeah,
play those games anymore. I'm not into fighting games like I was when I was a kid.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I like the visuals of it, but playing them, I feel like it stagnates for me real fast.
The only
And
fighting game I ever was really, really good at was Soul Calibur for Dreamcast. I was
mm,
amazing. I could beat anyone at that. I probably could have, like, won tournaments in that game. I don't know why, it was just something about that weird clunky game Dreamcast controller, and just I just was really good at that. Street Fighter's awful. Mortal Kombat's terrible. Like, any of the other games, I'm just not really good at, but, Soul Calibur, that was my shiz.
I never had a chance to I had a Soul Calibur game, but I don't think I ever played it. Uh, but I never had a chance to play on a Dreamcast.
Dreamcast was awesome. I was my favorite system of all time. I just wish they had more games for it. And people hated the
Mhm.
controller, the white controller, not like the big clunky red one. 'Cause I had one of those too. I actually liked it. The only thing I didn't like is the stupid cord came down, I
Came
think, at
out
the
the bottom.
bottom, and you had to
Yeah.
hook it in the back. But then even like its memory card was like a little Game Boy. It was fucking awesome. You can get on the
Yeah.
internet with the thing before any other system was letting you on the internet. It
I
was
remember
great.
the first time I heard somebody talk about that, I was in high school, I think. I was like, "Is that even a real thing?" Like, I 'cause I had never heard of it.
Oh
I
yeah, it was real.
all of my video game education came from my brothers, and they only did, like, the real mainstream systems like, Nintendo and, PlayStation and Xbox. So, yeah,
Dreamcast, I think, literally was just the timing was bad, that was it.
oh, yeah,
Like, if it
'cause
I don't know if it just came out a little earlier or if it was able to come out a little later and have a better lineup of games, I think it would've been, like,
that was
considered
the
one of the
last
greatest.
Sega systems, right?
Yeah, at least in
Sega
America, I
system.
don't know if they had any others in Japan, but yeah,
Yeah,
like,
because that came out and it was competing wasn't it competing with
PS1.
PlayStation and 64, so that
That's
was
why it
a
got buried. Yeah, so I said the timing, if it came out a
complete
little earlier, like, before PlayStation, I think it would've I mean, it might have been released before PlayStation, but they just
and
didn't have the
also
games.
it also might have done better if, PlayStation didn't become its own thing and because it was supposed to be, like, it was supposed to be the Nintendo PlayStation or something
Yeah,
like that, and then it turned into the Nintendo 64 because PlayStation went a different route and did their own thing. So maybe if it stayed just Nintendo, they still would have
mhm.
been viable.
Like, you
So
never played Shenmue probably, like, on
right.
Dreamcast? That was they literally mapped whatever that game was set in, 1988 or '86 or whatever it was, they literally went and looked up the weather forecast real time for every day of the year or whatever this game takes place in, and the weather actually changes as it did for real.
Weird.
Yeah,
That's
like, they
pretty
put in
cool.
so much effort into that game, and it was a lot of fun. Except for
check
the
those out
forklift part, because
sometime.
there's a part where you work as a forklift driver and you literally have to go to work. I keep saying literally too much, but you do have to go to work and you have to fucking drive a forklift and like it's a real job. Like, oh, this is too real. I don't like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be extraordinarily interesting. But yeah, Dragon Ball. That I'm sure I would have fun with it right now for a minute, but I think my main thing is that these games now, the combos are so complex, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't have time to figure this stuff out and like constantly be pausing the menu and stuff. And I'm sure it's probably amazing. I just don't know if I have the patience for it.
Yeah, I give up on fighting games. I don't really care. I don't want to
Yeah,
invest time in
but I
something unless you're
do.
doing tournaments. I mean, it's not really like a story that you're raveling or anything. What are you
Right.
doing, bro? This is the
I
second day in a row that Nitro has been acting up when I'm doing a podcast. He was acting up on Monday when we had a guest on. He was wooing and all kinds of shit. And it was really bad.
jeez,
I don't know. He's
what's wrong,
fucking,
Nitro?
I don't know.
Well, I now think that I need to, buff up. Is that the word on? That's probably not the word on. Dragon Ball stuff. Now that Spencer is so angry that I don't know it well enough from your last episode.
It wasn't so much that you don't know it, it's the fact that the creator died and, you don't know it and you're talking about it. That's the problem. Gotta do
Well, it was
your
I let
diligent
it
research.
I let it be your news. You mentioned it right before the podcast.
I guess. It doesn't matter now. It's over and done with.
Whatever. Um, I mean, it's not like it's not like I didn't like Dragon Ball. I didn't know who he was because I wasn't like a super fan of it, but I liked it a lot growing up, so it's still relevant to me.
Hey, bro, you're knocking my headphones down now.
Anyway, the other piece of gaming news I had, have you heard of this game called Balatro?
I have not.
So you heard me talk about Slay the Spire before, which is that game that you keep snoring about whenever I start talking about it because it bores the hell out of you when I talk
Yeah,
about it.
sounds mad boring, yo.
All right, this is the same thing.
Oh, fucking God.
So
Why?
but it's like extremely popular because it's so I told you what a roguelike is, and I can't sit here and define it for you again, but I mean the general idea is that you play kind of like a warrior somehow, and then you go through a series of challenges or some kind of you go down some kind of path to defeat something, and then but you always start over. It's not like a long investment thing. So
Uh-huh.
while Spencer's sleeping, I'm just going to keep talking about this.
Spencer's
Um,
sleeping.
oh my God, Spencer! I'm mixing your names up now. Jesus,
Look, if you want Spencer to be the co-host of this podcast, I can arrange that.
I don't think it would. I don't think Spencer will play the games, and
No, he won't. But
so
I mean, it's hard to get me to play the games.
ugh, I am out of sorts today. While Caleb's sleeping, Balatro, or however you say it, Balatro, it sold 1,000,000 copies in its first month,
To a bunch of
and
dorks.
so it's a roguelike deck builder like Slay the Spire is,
Oh,
only
god damn
you
it.
play only Caleb, this might be more interesting to you.
Okay.
It's not just like a random deck builder with, like, stupid magic cards. It
Uh-huh.
might have those attributes, but you play poker. You actually play poker,
I
so
fucking
you have
hate
to
poker.
learn. You do not.
I do. I don't even know how to play poker. I don't
Oh,
like card games. I only like blackjack.
well,
That's it.
I guess this was just a lose after lose after lose situation,
I
with
mean, it
this
feels
piece
like
of
you're just
gaming
saying the
news.
same thing you did about the last game that I tried to forget you talking about.
Well, I think everyone is a little bit interested in this.
Look, if
It's
a
just
million people want to play it, then it obviously has an interest. I'm just not the
yeah.
demographic.
Alright. Well, I'm just telling you about it, and I'm telling everyone, all of our 10 listeners, that, Balatro is a pretty popular game, and it's probably worth checking out because it's probably one of those like Slay the Spire.
Check it
My
out.
favorite thing about it is that it's a non-commitment game, so
Mhm.
you don't have to sit there and spend 50 hours playing an RPG, and you still get, like, satisfaction and, like, uh, you get satisfaction out of it.
Yeah,
So
satisfaction
that's
and
that.
all that stuff and
Real quick,
mayonnaise.
I love mayonnaise.
Ew,
If you guys take anything away from this episode, I love mayonnaise.
I got a kitty on my sweater.
Yeah. And if you guys are only listening to this, you're not seeing the kitties on his sweater, so you're missing out.
You can hear me talk about it though.
Check this
One's
out on
green,
YouTube.
one's white, one's other green.
So, did you see Dune yet?
I have
Dune 2?
not. I have not seen the second Dune. I heard it's really, really good, but at the same time, I'm not in a hurry to see it because the last one took 10 hours to watch.
Yeah. Well, I took since I had Saturday off and you weren't available, I went to the movies by myself to see it, and I prepped. I had a coffee in the morning, but I said, Bryce, you pee a lot. Don't drink anything else the rest of the day.
That's a rookie move. Just bring a pee cup.
Yeah, well,
Or
I'm a
pee
little
in the
more
coffee cup
modest.
while you're drinking it and just refill.
Yeah. I mean, those are the smart thoughts that I didn't have,
Should've
and
did that. Or that big
but
Dune bucket they got that looks like a sex
yeah,
toy with like
pee
weird
back in there.
tentacles. Yeah, you just pee in that.
But I didn't, and I didn't have to go to the bathroom the whole entire time, all 3 hours, and yeah, it was pretty
Exciting.
fucking awesome. I I did like the first one. The second one was better. I still feel like these movies, even the original one, they all have this vagueness about them where I just can't understand completely what is happening.
That's how the book is too, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, there's a lot of detail, but then you just find yourself going, "Wait, what? Wait, who? Why? What?" And you just get like a whole bunch of names coming at you too.
Yeah.
It's like Dingleberry, Humperdork, and Sloppy Moses, and
Well, that's kinda
Jesuit
disappointing, is it makes me wanna
Gibbereau.
read it because then I was imagining that I would get the story better if I read it, but maybe not.
Just read it anyway. It's
Well,
all
maybe
right.
I will. Well, you should see it, and we'll move
Yeah, I
on from
will.
there.
I do want to see it.
Do you have any writing news?
Well, you owe me an apology. I mean, that's probably the
Alright.
first thing.
So this whole time, I didn't believe Caleb that he got accepted into PA Bards,
I've been saying I have been the whole time.
and they sent out the proof for the journal, and wouldn't you know it, 2 pages after me is Caleb James. So Caleb is a PA Bard.
I've been saying that every episode.
You've been saying it in a way that, like when you said that you got into the New Yorker,
And you didn't believe me about that either.
and it wasn't true.
It didn't come out yet.
All right,
You're never
so
gonna know it's true now, will you?
yeah, because who knows how far in advance they accept you for those.
I was gonna play that bit all the way till we got to the fucking thing, the poetry reading, and you were gonna open that book, or even better was I was just gonna go up and read and be like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And that would have been wonderful. But no, they had to send a stupid proof out. Bullshit.
Well, the next part of this conversation, they just told us, they just emailed us and confirmed the date of the reading that they're holding for the book launch for PA Bard's Western Poetry Review 2024. And unfortunately, Caleb, I can't make it.
Why?
Literally the day before before they announced it, I I booked a huge trip.
Oh, fucking
And
jerk.
it starts on the 16th.
No. They said
But
that also in the first email that it was gonna be on the 16th.
they did?
Yeah, I already put it in my calendar right when they did that.
Oh, I don't remember that. And it could have changed.
Well, it could have
So
changed.
cuz it was, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I thought there was something that I was missing, so maybe I subconsciously did see that. But yeah, I just booked a trip to Iceland. Yeah.
Ooh. Did you get your residency or are you just booking a trip?
No, I decided I didn't feel like waiting for a residency. 'Cause I really want to go somewhere. I feel like I gotta do something for like a confidence boost. And I was talking to Shrey about it, and she was supportive about it. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go somewhere. So I was between Iceland, Germany, and Ireland. And this was just a conversation with myself. Germany because I know a little bit of German. Ireland because I have a little bit of Irish in me, and I think that would be a cool culture to explore. Um, but I looked up flights for Iceland, and I found one round trip period where it was like super cheap to fly,
Mm.
and I didn't even say it to Shreya, but when she got home, she came in and she was like, "You should go to Iceland," and I was like, "Well, that settles it."
All right.
uh, so yeah, I got a half decent price flight to Iceland for it's a 10-day trip, but like kind of 2 of those days are flying, but um yeah, Reykjavik.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I figure I'll end up using it like a residency anyway. I'll just more expensive, but I'll end
Mhm.
up getting some inspiration, some new experiences, and I'll just sit and write in cafes probably, and also explore things, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. So other than that, I also had my poem in Star 82 review come out I think this past week. Oh, I don't have
Which
the book with me.
you could read it for free online, or you can get the book, which looked pretty cool from what you sent me.
Yeah, I meant to have it sitting here and I left it in the bedroom, but it is I think it's just star82review.com. Yeah, star82review.com. It is live. But it's kind of a lot of these journals I get into, which aren't a lot, but a lot of the times when I get into them and they have a print copy, it's kind of meh. But I feel like this is the first one that's, well, not the first one, but it's one of the better ones that I've gotten, better print copies.
Mm.
So it's worth, and it's not that expensive. It's like $11, I think. So it's
It's
kind of
not
worth
bad.
it.
Yeah.
It's got some art in there too, different different stuff. So if you want to see some of my stuff and check out some other unique stories and poems and mixed breeds of stories and poems, check out star82review.com or place an order. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. Did you have any other writing stuff come up?
I do. Strange Days Zine. I am in their spring issue. It's issue 14. They just released the cover today, and it looks really fucking cool, actually.
Nice.
You could pre-order that now if you go on Instagram. At, actually, you could just go to strangedayszine.com, all one word, or you can go to their Instagram, also just Strange Days Zine. If you want to check that out, it looked pretty cool, and I'm sure the stories in there are fun because it's all like some are like folktale and occult and mystery and weirdness. So I like that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
That's my next thing that's coming out. Do I have anything after that? Yeah, I do in May, but I don't want to talk about that right now.
Okay. I guess my last thing is just something I already said to you yesterday, but I'm really doing well with my rejection goal this year,
Yeah,
which
you
is
are.
great. It's great that I'm doing well with my rejection goal, my 100 rejections like I did last year. I'm up to 27 now, I think. So I'm kind of in the right spot for where I should be for March. However, I think the magazines out there that I've submitted to are a little bit confused if they're listening to this. I have a rejection goal, but the point of my rejection goal is so that I can get accepted. So I don't want people to get confused about the fact that I submit stuff. But when I submit my work, I do want that to be accepted, and I want it to be published.
Yeah.
I don't just want to get it rejected. So just throwing that out there.
You'd rather miss your rejection goal if it mean you got a lot more acceptances, obviously.
Yeah. Yes. So getting a little bit frustrated, but just want to put that positive energy out there for all those magazines listening in.
Well, on this coming Tuesday's episode of the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast, we interviewed CJ Spataro, and she was telling us all about rejections and acceptances and submissions and the publishing industry and all kinds of things. So
Cool.
I think you'll dig that episode because there's a lot of cool information on there. and she was published by a bunch of places that have rejected us.
Oh, lovely. I'll check
Yeah.
that out. Well, stay tuned this Monday, the 25th, for another lovely episode of Arcade Bookshop. We're talking about this nice little game called a Memoir Blue. It's available on all platforms. It's an indie game, and it's only about an hour long, but it's not something to sleep on. And our conversation's actually not too bad when we're not
Good.
talking about Contra.
Can I bring up one contra fact?
Okay.
I know we're supposed to save this probably for the episode, but it's big spoiler for Sea of Stars. So if you don't want a spoiler, stop listening now. The end of Sea of Stars is kind of contra. Just saying. The very,
Yeah, the
very
end,
end
like,
boss.
it's almost like the game ends and then you just play Contra.
It's fucking great that's the
It's
thing.
just like, it's like it's like,
So
hi.
random.
It's like, hi, you beat the game, but wait, not yet. You have to
Contra.
also beat Contra, and then you beat the game.
It's fucking great. I love it. I love that was there for no reason. It was weird, but I liked it.
So after you listen to Arcade Bookshop next Monday, come on back Friday for another episode of this Arcade Cafe.
Yeah.
So, you ready to depart, Caleb?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. You've just spent some time in the Arcade Cafe, and we hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm Bryce with my pal and cousin-in-law, Caleb James.
Me.
And we'll see you next week.
Don't drink mayonnaise.
Yeah, well.